So x is greater than 9. What's my lower bound? 9. And we're going to infinity. Both of those would be parentheses. Or, so that's a union. If it was an and, what symbol would you use? An intersection. Just flip it upside down. X is less than negative 2. What's that? So if you're less than negative 2, you're visualizing it. Negative 2 is here. It's going to the left. So the left side is going to be negative infinity. The right side is going to be 2. Now normally we would probably write those the other way, so the negative infinity one is on the left. It does not technically matter, but normally we try to keep everything lower bound all the way up to the upper bound. It would be negative 2, thank you. Missed that. Trying to get as many notes today, so tomorrow you can just kind of work. We'll still have a few things to go over, practice tomorrow, but anyway. Try to make Juliana and Stephanie feel as far behind as possible. Sorry, girls. We like you. Way to be involved in LB audit. Okay, functions. This wording right here. Y is a function of x. That used to always get me. Which way does it have to go? Y is a function of x. That means x is the one that you're working with. So if it says y is a function of x, the x's would be something like slope-intercept form. So y equals everything else. If it said x is a function of y, then they just switch around. X equals whatever. Okay? But normally we see y is a function of x if there is only one value of y for each value of x. So you can't have a specific x and have multiple answers to that. Like, well, that's silly. Of course, you plug in one x, you should get one y. Not always the case. I think the one I always use is, if I ask the question, what's the price of gasoline in Gossel, how many answers can you give me? One. In Gossel. Okay, how many gas stations do we have? One. So how many answers can you give me? One. So that would represent a function. So that, my question, gasoline in Gossel is a function of how many gas stations you have. Flip that around, what's the price of gasoline in Newton? Depends where you go, right? Depends where you go. So there's multiple answers to that one question. So what that looks like here, when you have functions, is if you'd have a graph like this. Now, this isn't too common to us yet, but if you have a parabola going to the side, if x is 4, how many y values do we have? 2. Okay, this would be a horizontal parabola instead of a vertical parabola. Okay, so this is when you have something like this. Okay, so it comes down to what? Remember the vertical line test? So vertical line test. So we're going to be on a graph. Y is a function of x If and only if you want to know the math symbol for that, it's a double arrow like that. If and only if, that symbol stands for if and only if. Any vertical line drawn crosses at most one point. Any vertical line drawn crosses at most one point. So then it is a function. It's basically the simple idea that if you draw a line and it goes through 2 points, then you have 2 points that are answers. Okay. So like this is, you can draw a vertical line here, crosses 1 point. Here, it crosses 1 point. Anywhere you draw a vertical line, it's only going to cross 1 point. So this would represent a function of y. Function y is a function of x. So dealing with, let's look through these, because some of these wordings can be this. So when they're dealing with input and output, which one is the input, the x or the y? When you have a formula, which one do you input, the x or the y? Okay. So inputs are always going to be x's. Is x the domain or the range? Domain. Always remember that. X is domain, x is the input, it's what you're plugging in. So if y is a function of x, that means you should be plugging in for x and solving for y. Plugging in for x, solving for y. So when they say the input value x is a student's ID number, the output value y is the student's score on a physics exam, on a specific physics exam. So if you plug in a student's ID number, will you get 2 scores back? No. So is that a function between the two? Yeah, because you have one y value, you have one answer. Okay. So that one is good. Here, is this a function? No. Why not? Correct. Would that cause a vertical line? Correct. That would not cause a vertical line. Now, I'll tell you what this is not, but here, do I have any x values that repeat? No. So if I say x is 0, how many answers do you get me? One answer. If I say x is 6, how many answers do you get me? One answer. So this one is a function. It's not what they call a one-to-one function. A one-to-one is when each of these are different also. But if you're going to graph this on the number line, 0, -3, and 6, -3, they'd cause a horizontal line, but they wouldn't cause a vertical line. So you're looking at the x values and if the x values repeat. Okay, this one we already covered. Is it a function? Let's just finish these examples. Last one here. Here, when you have a y squared, see that y squared? That means there's basically 2 answers of y for every x. If you were going to solve for y, you'd have to take a square root, and when you take a square root, you see that plus or minus there? 2 answers. Okay, so that one is not a function either. Look at some more examples of that tomorrow, and finish up the notes. You can get started with this, so you don't have as much to do tomorrow night.